You're welcome to News at 7 on NTA International. I'm Lami Ali. Precious Ozoimina is the sign language interpreter. Let's take the headlines. Campaign against gender-based violence takes center stage. Experts seek for measures to protect girl child. Head of Civil Service of the Federation clocks 100 days in office. Launches newspaper to enhance information dissemination. A DHL cargo plane crashes in Lithuania, claims 1 life. Now, the federal government has directed the adoption of technology-driven strategy to combat terrorism, cybercrime and border security challenges facing Nigeria and the entire African continent. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the directive during a courtesy visit by members of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 17 from the National Institute for Security Studies. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Africa and Nigeria are currently navigating some of the most troubling times in areas of security and economy, and the challenges require innovative solutions, and artificial intelligence presents a vista of opportunities. Referencing Franklin D. Roosevelt's famous words, Vice President Kashim Shettima urged resilience, saying the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
And AI presents a vista of opportunities for us to address issues on agriculture, on healthcare, on financial inclusion, and on security issues. And I believe, I'm an eternal optimist, I believe most of these things are doable. Africa is the youngest continent. The average age of the Nigerian nation is 16.9. And we have a pool of technologically savvy young men that we can harness, in spite of challenges in terms of inadequate infrastructure, in terms of skill gaps, energy challenges. But while there is a will, there is always the way.
He highlighted the successful implementation of security measures by the governor of Enugu State, stating he has effectively curbed the excesses of those exploiting security vacuum to cause havoc, which he said is a testament to what can be achieved with the right strategies. Commandant National Institute for Security Studies Joseph Obulu Odama lauded the success of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 17, which commenced in February 2024 with 91 participants from Nigeria's military, paramilitary, federal and state ministries, and 5 African countries. The theme of the course is Artificial Intelligence and Emerging Economies in Africa, Challenges and Prospects. Since its inception, the Institute has graduated 961 participants, significantly enhancing national security strategies and international cooperation. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says collective action across all sectors of the society is needed to aid reporting and timely prosecution of perpetrators of gender-based violence. This is contained in her statements marking the 2024 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. She describes gender-based violence as one of the most widespread human rights violations against women worldwide. The First Lady says harmful practices such as child marriage and female genital mutilation are still prevalent and often justified by cultural or religious norms in Nigeria, while noting that remarkable progress is being made against GBV. The First Lady, however, notes that many women and girls, especially those in rural and underserved areas, still remain trapped in these cycles of violence and inequality. She says the yearly commemoration must be seen as a call to action for everyone to challenge harmful behaviors, adding that formal education for the girl child remains the key to liberating them and helping them make informed choices. The First Lady also calls for increased support for victims and survivors towards creating safer environments for women and girls. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, today led a symbolic walk against gender-based violence in commemoration of this year's International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. The walk brought together hundreds of participants, including lawmakers and members of the public, who marched from the National Assembly to the headquarters of the Nigeria Police Force. Speaker Abbas says it demonstrates the resolve of the National Assembly to demand decisive action to safeguard vulnerable populations and ensure accountability for perpetrators of gender-based violence.
Clear here that the National Assembly will do everything humanly possible to ensure that all forms of violence against women and girls are drastically reduced, if not completely eliminated, in the very near future. I want to also announce that the National Assembly, particularly the House of Representatives, will play an active role in the next National Action Plan against women violence that will be coming up very soon. We will send our representatives. We will also participate actively in ensuring that robust policies are enacted that will significantly reduce the incidence of violence of all kinds against women, against children, against girls.
Demonstration of solidarity with victims of gender-based violence in the country culminated in the submission of a petition by the House of Representatives to the Inspector General of Police.
We want to get justice. We want to get justice. We want to get justice. The House of Representatives, under the leadership of Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, have united in one voice to say that there is no excuse for violence against our women and our girls.
It is a collective effort that we must all fight. We must all come together and put our actions together to eradicate this unacceptable reality now.
Now, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs has flagged off activities marking the 2024 edition of 16 Days of Activism to End Gender-Based Violence. Ngozi Technical reports.
The flag-off ceremony commencing the 16 days of activism to end gender-based violence, organized by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, aside looking at preventive measures, also focuses on reviewing existing laws to cater for survivors of violence and strengthening its enforcement at the grassroots.
This occasion provides us yet another opportunity to renew those commitments and take deliberate actions to protect the rights, safety, and dignity of women, girls, and vulnerable people across Nigeria.
GBV also imposes significant economic loss, estimated at 1.5% of Nigeria's GDP annually, hindering development and progress.
With the orange color beautifying the occasion, speakers laid emphasis on the need to ensure collective responsibility to actualize the Beijing 2030 target of a safe and violent-free world.
And make it as accountable and transparent as possible. But we can only go far when we don't have the laws that will help us for implementation.
Lineup of activities for the 16 days include road walk and campaigns, including lighting up the ministry with orange color. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
The International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA Nigeria, says it will continue drafting policies and raising awareness on gender-based violence. Umenka Marachuku reports that this is the focus of discussion at the 60 years anniversary of FIDA and its 2024 triennial conference in Abuja.
FIDA Nigeria is a country branch of FIDA International, established in 1964. The group is made up of women who practice law in Nigeria, celebrating 60 years of service advocacy and unwavering commitment to justice for women and children in Nigeria. The members of this Justice Advocate Group are here to chart a way forward on how to transform lives and build a brighter future for all.
You know, in Nigeria today we have produced, FIDA has produced 2 female chief justices of Nigeria. Now we have 7 women justices in the Supreme Court. We have women heading the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. You know, so the role of the woman is not limited to the family. It's not limited to the home. The woman has an important role to play in the public domain, you know, and that's the point that is being made.
This 60th anniversary served both as a celebration of impact and a rallying cry for the future. A future where gender equality is not just an aspiration, but a reality.
When women are empowered and communities are educated, the circle of violence can be broken.
46 branches in 36 states of the Federation and the FCT are taking part in the event. The theme of the 2024 Triennial Conference is Breaking Barriers, Building Bridges, Celebrating 60 Years of Progress. In Abuja, Umeka Rajuku, NTA News.
The women wing of the Labour Party has pledged to sustain the campaign against gender-based violence and fight for the emancipation of the girl child. As the workshop to mark the day, the national women leader of the party is optimistic that with constant campaign and enlightenment, all gender-related violence would be eliminated in Nigeria. She called on women in various leadership positions to set good standards for others and called for stiffer penalties for those who violate the rights of women.
That the fact that I'm a politician doesn't mean I'm a wayward woman. I'm a grandmother. So you can imagine thinking a grandmother is a wayward woman when you have no proof. You have never seen or heard anything about a woman just because she's a politician. And then again, by the time women in politics not only speak out, but they let their faces be seen, their activities be seen, and people know the caliber of women that are in politics, it will bring about a reorientation of people's minds. People will understand that, look, politics is not for women who are promiscuous.
Spiking will become a new stand-alone criminal offence, says British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, as he reiterates a vow to reduce violence against women and girls. Uche Ugochukwu reports.
The focus obviously is violence against women and girls. That's been and is a key priority of this government, as I think and hope that you know.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has met with police chiefs, transport bosses and industry leaders at Downing Street, with tackling drink spiking topping the agenda. The issue of drink spiking, that is where people are injected with sedatives and other drugs intended to make them lose consciousness, comes with long-standing fears about female safety in public places increasing in recent years. In part, after 7 police officers were convicted in several high-profile cases of the murder and rape of young women. Police forces also recorded an increase in drink spiking incidents in 2021, which they say has since declined, alongside a worrying new phenomenon of needle spiking. Spiking is currently prosecuted in England and Wales under various existing laws, some dating back to 1861. Starmer had vowed to create a specific new offence if his Labour Party took power in July's general election.
Equally important in my view, we're beginning a piloting of training for staff in venues. Obviously, partly to spot what's happening, but also to know what to do in the event that there is an incident.
The new offence, he said, will send a clear signal that this is a crime and perpetrators should feel the full force of the law. It will also encourage more victims to report offences and give them greater confidence in the justice system. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Now, news at 7 is reaching you from the studios of NTA International here in Abuja. Time now to take a break. Do stay.
Government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
Lithuanian authorities confirm one death in the crash of a cargo plane near Vilnius Airport in Lithuania, just as 8 migrants died after a boat sank in the sea north of Samos. Uche Ugochukwu has details.
A DHL cargo plane crashed early Monday near the airport in Lithuania's capital, killing 1 person. Lithuanian officials, who in the past weeks have been probing alleged acts of sending incendiary devices on western-bound cargo planes, stopped short of linking the crash with that investigation. However, Lithuanian Defense Minister said so far there are no signs or evidence suggesting this was sabotage or a terrorist act, and that the probe to establish the cause could take about 1 week. Images from the crash site in the capital, Vilnius, showed debris from the plane and packages on fire scattered across the presidential area, cordoned off by the emergency services. According to the Lithuanian police, the plane flying from the eastern German city skidded several hundred meters, hitting the residential house which was set on fire, smaller buildings and a car. 1 person from the plane's 4-member crew died in the crash that happened as the plane was due to land in Vilnius. Elsewhere, 8 people have been reported dead, 6 of whom were children, in a migrant boat shipwreck in the sea north of Samos. Greek police reported they found 36 survivors on land nearby, and the Hellenic Coast Guard reported they rescued 3 survivors from a rocky shore. The Coast Guard said they were alerted to the incident by a non-governmental organization and estimated that about 50 people were on board the vessel. According to the International Organization for Migration, at least 1,933 migrants have died or gone missing in the Mediterranean Sea this year. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
A retreat for officials of ECOWAS Community Court of Justice is underway in Suleja, Niger State. It is aimed at strategizing for effective and efficient service delivery in 2025. Judiciary correspondent Austin Ayabe reports that the presidents of the court called on judicial officials to redouble their efforts to enable them cope with challenges in the sub-region.
ECOWAS Court of Justice is an organ of the Economic Community of West African States, a regional integration community of 15 member states. It was created pursuant to the provisions of Articles 6 and 15 of the revised Treaty of ECOWAS. The court is charged with resolving disputes related to the community's treaty, protocols and conventions. The court is composed of 5 independent judges chosen from among persons of high moral character who are nationals of ECOWAS member states who possess the qualifications for appointment to the Supreme Court. To overcome challenges, the court holds an annual retreat to evaluate performance and obedience to decisions of the court by member states. President of Community Court of Justice, ECOWAS, Ricardo Concalves, told participants that recommendations from the week-long retreat will prepare them to overcome challenges and responsive to demands from the regional court.
Cannot fail to realize that our countries are beset by various challenges, first of all being financial, which have an adverse impact on development.
Chief Registrar of the court, Dr. Yauza Ora Sama, gives a brief on the focus of the retreat.
The sub-themes are as follows: rate of execution, implementation in member states, standardizing the rulings and orders made in open courts, the discrepancies between the common law and civil law practices on the format of interlocutory applications and motions.
The court hears cases of infringement on fundamental human rights as contained in the UN Convention, Treaty, and African Union Charter. Judgments of the court are binding on each member state, institutions, and on individuals. From Suleja, Niger State, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The Nile University of Nigeria is set to hold the 12th convocation ceremony for the 1,876 graduating students. The Vice-Chancellor of the institution, Professor Dili Dogo, at a press briefing in Abuja said the students have all met requirements to be part of the ceremony. Francis Udojo has the details.
The brief, jointly spearheaded with the Pro-Chancellor of Nile University, Mr. John Vermaten, highlighted several achievements recorded by the institution since its inception in 2009. Nile University, a Pan-African private multidisciplinary institution owned by honoris universities drawn from 10 countries, currently has 8 faculties, which includes engineering, health sciences, arts and social sciences, a school of postgraduate studies, offering over 40 undergraduate and 50 postgraduate programs. The management of the institution revealed that the institution, focusing on learning, mentorship, and technical skills as well as entrepreneurship, is collaborating with different institutions in UK, USA, France, and Canada to give students quality education that could measure up with world standard. The partnership, they said, will discourage brain drain and improve capacity building of students in Nigeria and Africa in general. These, the institution's management said, formed the quality of the 1,876 students who are set for convocation to be held on Thursday.
We've received 3 groups. We had 23 from the United Kingdom alone, 40 from the United States, and 22 from France, all coming here to look for ways of working together, partnering together, both in research and academic development. That, to me, and I believe to you also, spells the quality of educational development and deployment we are doing in Nile University.
Infrastructure, establishment of online executive master courses, as well as implementation of corporate social responsibility are other areas of achievements recorded by the institution.
We're committed to the student experience while on campus, the commitment to more hostel beds, understanding the needs of the students. We're also very attuned to the desires of the parents, and we continue to invest in the university.
The Niles University management called on parents for collaboration as efforts are made to keep education standard high while taming social vices among students. In Abuja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Now, the first 100 days in office is a significant milestone. It offers an opportunity to reflect on the achievements recorded, perform a thorough audit of progress, and identify the goals ahead. It is also a time to pause and acknowledge the challenges we face, as well as reaffirm our shared resolve to overcome all problems. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DD Esther Wilson-Jack, stated this at her 100 Days in Office press conference. Haman Jabani reports.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DD Esther Wilson-Jack, says today is not just about celebrating milestones, but fostering transparency, sharing vision for the future, and ensuring that every Nigerian understands the importance of the reforms undertaken in the Federal Civil Service. The theme, Marching to Greatness, is to show the commitment to fast-track, accelerate, and sustain the reforms underlined in the Federal Civil Strategic and Implementation Plan 2021-2025, FCC 25. Answering questions from journalists, head of the Civil Service of the Federation says the service is committed to ensuring a better civil service and thanked the media for their support.
What we're doing now is not quite adequate
for the number of civil servants that we have. So I can assure you that, God helping us, we will have some traction in the housing by bringing on so many other stakeholders to support us to ensure that we have many, many more houses built for civil servants.
Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdulhamid Dambos, who was represented by the Executive Director, Administration and Training, says the organization will continue to educate the public on government policies and programs.
It is quite remarkable, and the magnitude of her reform and initiatives is second to none. For sure that civil service in Nigeria or at a federal level will never be the same. So I salute her, and I assure her that NTA will always be there to give her all the necessary support needed.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation launched the Civil Service newspaper and Service Welfare newsletter. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Now, Tuesday's weather forecast is next. That does it on News at 7 at this time on NTA International. We thank you for watching. I'm Lami Ali. Precious Osoimina has been the sign language interpreter. Do have a good evening.